Hello everyone, welcome to the world of Lean Six Sigma. I am Mohit Sharma, your mentor and coach on Lean Six Sigma issues and problems. Some of my viewers have been requesting me to make a video on why projects fail. So in my experience, what I have noticed is there are certain reasons why the projects fail. So let us begin this video and understand what are these reasons. Number one is unclear objective. When the objective is not clear, that is when the project starts failing. We will get into the details of each of these subheads in the subsequent slides. The second important point is that it is incorrect stakeholder analysis because of which the projects fail. And the third one is the unrealistic resource allocation. The fourth one is the limited authority. The fifth one is not able to manage the change. So whatever I have seen in my experience, these are the broad 5 reasons why most of the projects fail. There could be other reasons also, but in this video, I am going to touch upon all these 5 issues. Friends, you can buy my authored books on Amazon. My first book is 8 Steps to Problem Solving, which talks about Six Sigma concepts. And my second book is Continuous Improvement the Lean Way, which talks about the lean concepts. Unclear objective. So, there is one way of guaranteeing a project failure is to begin the work without clear project objective goals. We all have heard that it is important to define the right project metric in the beginning. Just take a break of 5 seconds and close your eyes and see how many projects you have done and how many of them have failed because of the unclear objective. My thought here is that if you see in the beginning of the project that the objectives are not clear, do not get into the project till the time the objectives are clear. And the most important thing is when the objective is not clear towards the end of the project, when you say whether we have succeeded or not, you will not be able to measure the improvements if the objectives are not clear. So let us take an example. The objective is to reduce weight. So look at this GIF which I got it from the net, which says that the child, when child gets on the machine, he says I'm overweight. Coming back to the subject of the video, where I'm saying that the objective is clear. If you take a goal to reduce weight and after 5 months you check your weight and you see, okay, I have reduced 2 kgs of weight. When in the beginning you had no clear objectives that how much weight you want to reduce in how much time, then at the end of the 5 months, you are checking that okay, 2 kilo reduction is still a reduction in the weight, I have met my goal, but the objective was not very clear in the beginning. So a good project objective in this particular case would be, for example, I am at 70 kgs weight. I want to reduce that weight from 70 kgs to 65 kgs in next 3 months. Is the right objective or is the clear objective that I'm setting up for this particular project? Incorrect stakeholder analysis. You can divide your stakeholders into these 4 quadrants. One is high on influence and low on interest. They are called latents. The second one is high on influence and high on interest. They are called your promoters. The third is low on influence and low on interest. They are called apathetics. And the fourth one are low on influence and high on interest. They are called defenders. Let us understand a little more about these stakeholders. Say, for example, your company is moving from one location to another location. There would be these 4 types of stakeholders which will be part of this particular project. So let us see which all stakeholders fall into which category. The first one is head of the departments. These are your department heads. They are very high on influence, but they have low interest. Whether you work from location A or location B, they want the end output from their product. The second one are called manage closely. You need to manage the promoters very closely because these are the people who are high on influence and they have high interest in the game. So what you need to do, you need to inform, consult and collaborate with them. For example, HR. The movement from location A to B can lead to attrition. It could be beneficial for HR to be part of this core group and you need to manage them very closely when you are doing this project. There would be IT department because there's a lot of infrastructure, IT infrastructure that you have to set up. If it is a factory which is moving, then there would be a lot of mechanical engineers which would be part of this project, and there would be business heads. You need to monitor and inform. The transport department and the housekeeping department are low on influence and low on interest. And the last stakeholders are you need to keep them informed, which are low on influence and high on interest, like for example, employees and workplace solution teams. If you do the stakeholder analysis well and you manage the stakeholders, the chance of doing the project successfully goes up. The next important point is unrealistic resource allocation. Resources are what you need to complete a project, like budget, staff, time, space, or tools. Lack of resources can delay a project or even stop the project in its tracks. So the important thing is to remember this triangle which says the scope, time, and cost. In some cases, when the project is defined, some customers try to increase the scope of the project. It is called scope creep. So when the scope creep happens, you need to tell your customer that if you want to increase the scope, you need to increase the cost. If you don't want to increase the cost, the time will go up. Or if you are trying to reduce the time, you need to increase the cost or you need to reduce the scope of the project. So this is something which you can keep in your mind when you are discussing realistically about resource allocation to a particular project. In most of the projects, what I have seen that we have limited authority on the human resources in the project. For example, I am the project owner. There are different team members from different teams. They are participating in that particular project and I have no authority on them. So as a project manager, you have to get the work done without authority from people who aren't reporting to you. That's number one thing that every project manager has to face. And when you are leading without authority, it is a critical skill set that a project manager should have. Because, as I have already told you, most of the times you will be running a team which is not directly reporting to you. So, what you need to do, you need to influence the people in such a way that they listen to you and they work for the project, even though you don't have the authority on them. So, how do you do that? Expectation setting in the beginning of the project. Align their direct reporting managers in the conversation. Get that alignment that this person is responsible 20% or 30% of its time in this particular project or 100% of the time for next 3 months in this particular project, and the overall performance that you will have to report it out towards the end of the project to the reporting manager of the employee. So that is how you create an atmosphere where the person, even though is not directly reporting to you, understanding the need of the project and is ready to work as per the requirements. Friends, you can buy my authored books on Amazon. My first book is 8 Steps to Problem Solving, which talks about Six Sigma concepts. And my second book is Continuous Improvement the Lean Way, which talks about the lean concepts. The most important thing why the projects fail sometime is not able to manage the change. For example, there is a change that you have proposed. Change is something which most of the people they don't want to accept the change which is coming their way. You can think about it. How difficult was it for us to convince our parents to use smartphone initially? So that was a change which was getting into their life. They moved into the digital era and they had to use the phone because of the need of the hour, but it was so difficult for us to make them accept that change. Change management under project management is a combination of managing change and managing people into incorporate that change. The people could be the teams and the stakeholders. So you could have promoters, neutrals, or detractors in particular list of stakeholders. It is the most important thing to move your detractors either to neutral or to promoter. So, as I said, if you are converting your detractors into neutrals and promoters, how it can happen? It can only happen when you implement some pilot in the areas where the promoters are there and show the result of that to the detractor that okay, yes, this new change is beneficial, and they will convert or they will move from tag of a detractor to either neutral or promoter. So in the end, I wanted to conclude that if you want to do a project without fail, all these five things that are happening in the process, you need to take care of them and do corrective actions. In today's video, it was not only to highlight what are these failure modes or what are these failures which can happen during a project, but I also wanted to give you a flavor of how you can stop these failures from happening. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. I will see you in my upcoming video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.